Welcome to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM, the Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Friday, June 11th, 2021, and we are live. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a very busy day today. I was on Roland Martin Unfiltered today for 2 hours, and also did a broadcast today to promote my online course on Saturday, June 12th, my 10-week online course, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. And our guest speaker Saturday, June 12th, will be Dr. David Imhotep, author of the book, The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I saw a story yesterday night after I got off the air, and we talked about it today on Roland Martin Unfiltered. So, we've been talking about the plight of African-American farmers, and we've been talking about the $4 billion in loan forgiveness for African-American farmers, and there's about $1 billion in other assistance. And this is in the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan that no Republicans voted for. Well, and we talked about how you had white farmers who are claiming discrimination and whining and crying. And they filed lawsuits halting the disbursement of the funds and saying that they should be included in the loan forgiveness. Okay. Now, this loan forgiveness is for farmers of color, non-white farmers, to deal with a history of decades of discrimination against African-American farmers and white farmers, African-American farmers, Hispanic farmers, and others coming from the federal government and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Well, you have white farmers who is saying, oh, that's reverse racism, that's discrimination. And they're saying that they should be allowed to take advantage of the loan forgiveness also. Now, even though in 2020, under the Trump administration, you had white farmers who got $26 billion, almost $26 billion in loans from the Trump administration, and African-American farmers got only 1/10 of 1%. Okay. But none of these people were calling that discrimination. Okay. None of these white people were calling that discrimination. Senator Lindsey Graham wasn't calling that discrimination. None of these people who are calling it discrimination now were calling it discrimination then in 2020. So a judge has suspended the debt relief program. This ruling came down on Thursday. Judge suspends debt relief program for farmers of color after a conservative law firm and white farmers sue the Biden administration. We talked about that on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Roland had John Wesley Boyd Jr., president of the Black Farmers Union, on the show today. There was an article from USA Today that I saw last night about this. We also posted this article on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network. So we're going to talk about this on today's show, and I'm going to share the interview with you and share a segment of Roland Martin Unfiltered. And then, yesterday we had a great show. We'll be re-airing yesterday's show, our Thursday show. So be sure to watch that. Yesterday we talked about the how history is repeating itself, and how you have Republicans attacking the right to vote with these voter restriction bills, and then also teaching the history of the attack on the right to vote with the attack on critical race theory and 1619 Project, etc. So we dealt with that on Thursday's show. Now, because we had such a packed show yesterday, and we talked about the Mississippi State Convention of 1890 that adopted the Mississippi State Constitution of 1890, which instituted poll taxes and literacy tests to discriminate against African Americans and to lock us out of voting. That was the Mississippi State Constitution of 1890. There was a story that I did not get a chance to get to, and this deals with Memorial Day. And some of you may have seen this video go viral, but you had a retired Army officer who was at a Memorial Day, speaking at a Memorial Day celebration in Ohio, the American Legion Department of Ohio, in Ohio. And he started talking about the role that freed slaves played in the first Decoration Day or first Memorial Day, May 1st, 1865. Well, as he starts talking about this history to a largely predominantly white crowd, because I watched some of the video, his microphone was cut off. Now, he kept talking, but his microphone was cut off. Well, you've had two officials who have resigned, two of the organizers of that event have resigned as fallout of this being exposed and his microphone being cut off. Both organizers of a Memorial Day ceremony have resigned under pressure after they silenced a retired U.S. Army officer's microphone while he was talking about how freed Black slaves honored fallen soldiers just after the Civil War. And this was the first Memorial Day. Very interesting. He's telling the truth. This is an older white man telling the truth about history, and they pulled the plug on him. They cut the microphone off. I guess they can't handle the truth. Is that what it is? They can't handle the truth? So we'll discuss that as well. I had that segment all ready to go on yesterday's show, but we just had a jam-packed show yesterday dealing with a topic yesterday in the Mississippi State Constitution and how all this history is repeating itself. So we'll deal with that today as well. On the African History Network show, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's corrects wrong behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. So when you control the radius of a man or woman's thoughts, you can control the circumference of his or her actions, because the mind can't do or teach what it doesn't know. Now, we deal with a number of different topics here on the African History Network show. We deal with current events and history and politics, education, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, relationships, love, sex, health issues, and much, much more. See, I said relationships that time. And much, much more. Sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, K-E-M-E-T, to 22828. Sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, K-E-M-E-T, to 22828. Sign up for our email newsletter. Also visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Okay. Be sure to sign up. Go ahead and sign up for the online course that I teach on Saturdays, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, understanding the transatlantic slave trade, where they didn't teach you in school. Now, Kemet is one of the original names for Egypt. Our guest speaker, Saturday, June 12th, 2021, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, will be Dr. David Imhotep, author of the book, The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence. And I talked to him earlier today. And he'll talk about the premise of his book. He'll talk about new archaeological evidence that even pushes the date of 51,700 years ago, even farther back than that. He said he has peer-reviewed evidence for that also. If you go to our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, right on the homepage, scroll down, you'll see the information for our radio show. You'll see the information for the online course. It's a 10-week online course that I teach. We deal with thousands of years of history and what led up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. We've been going throughout the timeline of history. We cover hundreds of thousands of years of history. We do the class live. All the classes are recorded. You can go back and watch them over and over again. So when you go to our website, click on register here. Next page, click on enroll. The class is 50% off now, about 54% off. It's on sale $60, regularly $130. As soon as you register, you can watch our class from last Saturday. We had a really good class last Saturday. And you can also watch the session, the class where Sister Nubia Wardford spoke to the class. She's a African-American female archaeologist. And we dealt with the origins of ancient Kush and the African queens of antiquity, the origins of ancient Kush and the African queens of antiquity. We dealt with that in the class also. Okay. All right. So posted the link here, register for the online course. You can watch from around the world as well. All right. I want to jump into this topic here. So I was on Roland Martin Unfiltered today. And, I read this story last night after I got off the air. And, I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but I knew this was going to happen. We'd already talked about the lawsuits that took place. And the goal of these conservatives is to get this case in the conservative-leaning, 6-3 conservative-leaning U.S. Supreme Court and get this shut down and get this whole program shut down, which is dealing with loan forgiveness, and it's going to help a lot of African-American farmers. Now, this was part of the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. We've also been talking about how the banks are crying, and you have the banks are crying because the loans are going to be paid off sooner than normal, and the greedy banks, are not going to be able to make as much money as they have projected. Okay. We talked about the article from the New York Times. Banks fight $4 billion debt relief plan for black farmers. Okay, so we dealt with this also. Now, all this deals with politics. Politics is the legal distribution of scarce wealth, power, and resources, and the writing of laws, statutes, ordinances, amendments, and treaties, their adoption, interpretation, and enforcement. Okay, politics is the legal distribution of scarce wealth, power, and resources, and the writing of laws, statutes, ordinances, amendments, and treaties, their adoption, interpretation, and enforcement. So I want to go to, let me see here. I'm going to pull up this other article from the New York Times. I want to go to clip 1 here, Shakita. This is from Roland Martin Unfiltered from June 11th, 2021. Roland interviewed John Wesley Boyd Jr., president of the Black Farmers Union, and then he went to his panel. I was on his panel. Let's go to this clip.
Just so how we always are trying to connect the dots on this show, the whole issue of what's happening with black farmers. The money that was put in the bill that was recently passed to correct what took place with black farmers, $5 billion going to black farmers and other disadvantaged black farmers. Remember, we had the head of agriculture right here on the show discussing that, saying they were about to start sending that money out. What then happened? White farmers, oh my God, this is against us. This is discrimination against us. And then you have black people. Yes, then you have black people like Senator Tim Scott, who goes on Face the Nation and is saying the exact same thing these white farmers are saying. Oh, this is reverse racism. Okay, but I don't recall Senator Tim Scott saying a damn thing about black farmers and the little money they got out of the $25 billion that sent out, where the white farmers got all of that money. Okay, this is a loan forgiveness program. Our farmers of color. U.S. District Judge William Griesbach out of Wisconsin has temporarily suspended the program due to the lawsuit alleging it discriminates against white farmers. Now, he will pay up to 120% of direct or guaranteed farm loan balances for Black, American Indian, Hispanic, Asian American, or Pacific Islander farmers as part of the COVID-19 pandemic relief plan. Again, for all of y'all people out there who said ain't nothing happened with black people, no, this is not a black-specific program. But guess what? If you look at those numbers, you're likely going to have black farmers who are going to get more of the $5 billion than all the other groups out there. Okay? So just for y'all folks who keep saying there's nothing that's been done for black people. Joining us right now is John Boyd, founder and president of the National Black Farmers Association. John, glad to have you back on the show. We've talked about this here. This is no shock that they went to a federal judge in Wisconsin, where a lot of these white folks are, to get them to rule. And while I'm talking about collecting the dots, whoever you vote for, the president gets to nominate federal judges. The Senate gets to confirm federal judges. And so those 100 federal judges Mitch McConnell held up under Obama, that Trump was able to appoint, that's what you're dealing with here. And so there's a direct correlation to public policy passed by policymakers that impact black people that federal judges can either affirm or deny.
That's correct. And well, it's a national disgrace that here we for 30 years, and the last time I was on your show, I was urging Secretary Bill Sack to get the payments out to the farmers as quickly as possible. And if he had got the money to us, we wouldn't be caught in this trick bag here, so to speak. But here you have white farmers who have filed in, so far, 6 different federal courthouses around the country, Texas, Wisconsin, and all of these other states around the country. And we'll probably wind up in the Supreme Court, trying to put all these cases together. The National Black Farmers Association has already filed an amicus brief, opposing all of this, rhetoric. And here you have, just like you described, one of these Republican judges who says it's going to be some sort of harm to white folks if you pay black people. Anytime in this country you put money, black people in the same sentence in the federal government, everybody goes crazy. This was only a small tad bit of what we had in the whole book of Bill. So we broke that off thinking we could, get it through without a whole lot of pushback. And so far we've had banks that came out against us. We talked about that the last time. And now you have all of these lawsuits around the country from primarily, white farmers who don't want to see black and other farmers of color get a dime in this country.
Hey, pause it right there, Shaquita. Pause it right there and back it up about a minute. Okay. We talked about this also, and we talked about this on this show and on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Banks fight $4 billion debt relief plan for black farmers. That's from the New York Times. That's what John Wesley Boyd Jr. was just talking about, the fight from the banks as well. We'll deal with all of this on the other side of the break. Listen to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm Michael Imhotep. We'll be back in a few minutes.
For 25 years, the Black History 101 Mobile Museum has carried on the rich legacy of the Black Museum movement in America by showcasing original artifacts of the Black experience at colleges, universities, K-12 schools, corporations, libraries, conferences, and cultural events, making it the most traversed Black History mobile exhibit in American history. Dr. Khalid El Hakim is the founder of the Black History 101 Mobile Museum, and he is a highly sought-after public speaker on topics of Black history, social studies, education, museum studies, hip-hop, and race relations. Dr. Khalid was named among the change makers for NBC Universal's Erase the Hate campaign and listed as one of the 100 men of distinction for Black enterprise. He recently founded the Michigan Hip Hop Archive on the campus of Western Michigan University. The Black History 101 Mobile Museum is currently scheduling in-person and virtual exhibits nationwide. For more information, please contact Dr. Khalid Al Hakim directly at 313-645-4197, 313-645-4197, or visit their website at blackhistorymobilemuseum.com. That's blackhistorymobilemuseum.com. You can also email him at bhistory101@yahoo.com, bhistory101@yahoo.com.
Gain knowledge in minutes from insightful summaries of progressive and socially conscious books. Blacklisted gives you access to curated content that'll satisfy your curiosity to learn and understand different perspectives. Empower yourself through inspirational and actionable ideas. It's easy to read or listen to on the go. Blacklisted. Empower yourself. Start your free trial today.
Are you getting ready for fall or winter? We have the solution for all seasonal clothing needs. Comedicwear.com is the go-to online source for Comedic African fashion and lifestyle products with a contemporary twist. We're committed to offering unique styles reflecting our African heritage. Comedicwear.com is inspired by ComedicScribes.com to influence our people in learning and showing pride. Please visit our website at ComedicWear.com.
We all know the cannabis industry is headed toward an uprise in the past decade. What happens when there is a brand that brings this uprise in a blow? The cannabis industry welcomes her uprise. Hustle her hemp. Delivering excellence with pride is her watchword, and how you choose to embrace it makes it a priority. From cultivating rich cannabis into exquisite and tastefully finished CBD products to delivery, Hustle Her Hemp leaves no stone unturned. Hustle Her Hemp's mission is to empower women of color by building business and creating legacies, uniting beauty, health, and business. We are a pure definition of how we want the CBD industry to become in the future. While we are redefining innovation, we bring the same energy to improving the quality of life. Hustle Her Hemp is the new uprise.
Hi, I'm Joel Wilson, President and CEO of JCW Computer Consulting LLC, a technology implementation firm with over 20 years of satisfying customers. We offer a full spectrum of industry top-tier branded services. We are an authorized partner or reseller for Lenovo, Zoom, T-Mobile, Microsoft 365 and Surface tablets, Google Workspace, Acer, Asus, Samsung, PCmatic security software, and many more. Our online store features laptops, Chromebooks, computers, printers, accessories, and software. Businesses, take advantage of our free 1-hour Zoom tech consultation and know we offer top nationwide high-speed internet service providers, voice over IP, and cellular phone services. Home users, don't miss our current in-stock Chromebook inventory. Please visit us at jcwcc.com or call 215-879-6701.
910, the Superstation, Detroit's only African-American talk radio.
Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM, the Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Friday, June 11th, 2021. And we are live. Calling numbers 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. So right before the break, we were talking about the ruling that came down out of Wisconsin. A federal judge halted payments, and let me go back over to the article here from USA Today. I read this article when we got off the air on Thursday night, and then we talked about it on Roland Martin Unfiltered today. Judge suspends debt relief program for farmers of color after conservative law firm and white farmers sue the Biden administration, the Joe Biden administration. A federal judge halted payments for a loan forgiveness program that provides relief to agricultural producers of color. A temporary restraining order was handed down Thursday, June 10th, by Judge William Gracebach of Wisconsin's Eastern District, in response to a lawsuit filed by the conservative Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty in April of 2021. The group alleged that the Biden administration used an unconstitutional program in an effort to end systemic racism and should make the relief available to white farmers too. Now, this is to address about 100 years of racism and discrimination that African American farmers and farmers of color, et cetera, have experienced coming from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, coming from the federal government. African American farmers have lost about 92% of their land. And we've gone from 1 million African American farmers in 1920 to 45,000 today. If you look at the article from the Washington Post that deals with, from March 25th, that deals with the interview that Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack did with the Washington Post. And let me go to this article here. It talks about how white farmers got $26 billion from the Trump administration in 2020 alone. But African-American farmers got 0.1%. Now, all these white farmers crying today and Republicans crying, they weren't crying discrimination when white farmers got 99% of the money in 2020. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack says only 0.1% of Trump administration's COVID-19 farm relief went to black farmers. This is from March 25th, 2021. We've talked about this here a number of times. A tiny fraction of the Trump administration's coronavirus relief for American farmers, just 0.1% of the overall package went to black farmers, according to Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack, who was confirmed in February 2021 with strong bipartisan support for a second stint in the role, because he was Secretary of Agriculture under the Obama administration. Of those who identified their race or ethnicity, black farmers received only 20.8 million of nearly $26 billion in 2 rounds of payments under the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program announced by the Trump administration in April 2020, the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program. Politics is the legal distribution of scarce wealth, power, and resources, and the writing of laws, statutes, ordinances, amendments, and treaties, their adoption, interpretation, and enforcement. This is an example of this. Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack said, quote, "We saw 99% of the money going to white farmers and 1% going to socially disadvantaged farmers. And if you break that down to how much went to black farmers, specifically, it's 0.1%. It's 1/10 of 1%. 0.1%. He said, look at it another way. The top 10% of farmers in the country receive 60% of the value of the COVID payments, and the bottom 10% receive 0.26%. Okay, about a quarter of 1%. Now, all these white farmers who are filing lawsuits, all these Republicans who are claiming and saying this is reverse racism and this is reparations and this all this and that and screaming and yelling and crying. They weren't yelling, screaming, and yelling and crying and claiming discrimination when African American farmers only got 1/10 of 1% of $26 billion and white farmers got 99% of $26 billion. They weren't yelling and screaming and crying in 2020. I wonder what changed. What happened? So let's go back to this clip, Shakita. This is from Roland Martin Unfiltered. Roland is interviewing John Wesley Boyd Jr. of the Black Farmers Union. Let's go back to this clip.
That's correct. And well, you know, it's a national disgrace that here we for 30 years, and the last time I was on your show, I was urging Secretary Vilsack to get the payments out to the farmers as quickly as possible. And if he had got the money to us, we wouldn't be caught in this a trick bag here, so to speak. But here you have white farmers who have filed in so far 6 different federal courthouses around the country, Texas, and Wisconsin, and all of these other states around the country. And we'll probably wind up in the Supreme Court, you know, trying to put all these cases together. The National Black Farmers Association has already filed an amicus brief, opposing all of this, rhetoric. And here you have, just like you described, Roland, one of these Republican judges who says it's going to be some sort of harm to white folks if you pay black people. Anytime in this country you put money, black people in the same sentence in the federal government, everybody goes crazy. This was only a small tad bit of what we had in the whole book of bill. So we broke that off thinking we could, get it through without a whole lot of pushback. And so far we've had banks that came out against us. We talked about that the last time. And now you have all of these lawsuits around the country from primarily, white farmers who don't want to see black and other farmers of color get a dime in this country. And when we say enough is enough, and I was listening to you on your commentary, you've done a great job of Black America wake up and look at this. Here you have a targeted group of people who've been discriminated against by the federal government. We lost millions of acres of land. It's been documented, and we didn't get injunctive relief in either of the two lawsuits. Injunctive relief being land and inventory and or debt relief that we've been asking Congress for. This is not a new program for white farmers that excludes white farmers. White farmers have been getting the debt relief the whole time, and rolling since 1995, they've got $500 billion worth of cheap told out to white farmers, 99% to white farmers. Under the Trump administration alone, $30 billion that went out to white farmers. So how many times they want to collect and how many times they want to get all of the money all of the time?
They want, it was $1. They mad you got a penny. Oh no, they want that penny too. But I also need you to respond, John, to these ignorant black people who I see commenting who go, well, this is just a small pittance. This really is nothing. Right. Tell that to one of the black farmers. This is nothing.
Who waiting? We have farmers who call here, Roland, every single day at the National Black Farmers Association. Brother Book, when are we going to get this debt relief? We have black farmers who are waiting on the brink of farm foreclosure. That means we lose more land, we lose more black farmers if we don't get these payments and relief out to black farmers. And as I talked about earlier about the conversations with Secretary Vilsack, you have to move swift with stuff like this and giving these people all this time to come out against the measure. And if they had told the money out the way that they did white farmers immediately after the bill passes, the monies are deposited into their checking accounts or whatever have you there. The same swift action should have been done in this particular law. It's no longer a bill, people. It's a law, and we haven't received the monies.
And the thing is, when I hear these nutcases go, well, the black farmers need reparations. Well, okay, please explain to me when that's going to pass. Hell, a study can't even get passed. The reality is, this got passed.
Pause it right there, Shakita. Pause it right there. Pause it right there for me a bit, and just back it up about 20, 30 seconds. So for all the people who say black farmers need to have reparations, I agree with you. Now, explain to me how you get a reparations bill passed for black farmers. This right here is loan forgiveness, and this is being attacked. This was in the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. See, the only people that say stupid ass stuff like that are people that don't study politics and don't read. Those are the only people that say stupid ass nonsense like this. The $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. You know how many Republicans voted for that bill? 0. No Republicans. There's over 200 of them in the House of Representatives. No Republicans in the House of Representatives. None of the 200 plus in the House voted for the bill, and none of the 50 Republicans in the Senate voted for the bill. And this bill, this $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, is cutting childhood poverty in half. Had the $1,400 stimulus checks. Has aid to fight coronavirus. All this. This is benefiting Republicans in Republican districts that voted for Republicans in the first place, and none of these Republicans voted for the bill. So if they ain't vote for this bill, how you gonna get a reparations bill passed? How you gonna get a reparations bill passed for black farmers? And white farmers are suing, attacking this bill here, and this is loan forgiveness. How you going to get, see, this is what people don't understand. The three branches of government: legislative branch, House of Representatives, U.S. Senate; executive branch, the president, the White House, executive branch. Then there's the judicial branch, the courts. The courts interpret law. This is what people don't understand. The courts interpret law. These laws can be challenged in court. They can be upheld or overturned in court. Executive orders from a president can be challenged in court. Executive orders can be overturned in the courts. The goal of these conservative groups, they want to get this loan forgiveness program. They want to get this case in the conservative leaning 6-3 U.S. Supreme Court and get this overturned. So if you look at H.R. 40, H.R. 40 is in the House of Representatives right now. It got out of the House Judiciary Committee for the first time in 32 years, just a few weeks ago. It hasn't come to a vote on the full House floor because they don't have 218 votes to support it. They have about 188. You can go to govtrack.us and look up HR 40, 117th Congress. This is the 117th Congress. They were sworn in January 3rd, 2021. There's 188 members of the House of Representatives that support HR 40. They're going to vote for it. They signed on to support it. None of them are Republicans. The only people that support HR 40 are Democrats. You may have one or two independents in the House. That's it. The two black Republicans in the House of Representatives don't even support HR 40. Burgess Owens and this other idiot who's crying because the Congressional Black Caucus won't accept him as a member. They don't even support HR 40. There were also two of the 147 traitors that voted not to certify the 2020 elections as well. This is a study for reparations. I support HR 40 because I read the damn bill. I support HR 40. But if you can't get a bill passed to study reparations, how the hell you get one passed to pay reparations? Nobody wants to explain that to me. How many Republicans you think in the Senate are going to support HR 40 or any reparations bill? If they wouldn't vote for the American Rescue Plan, they help white people that voted to put them in office. You think they're going to vote for a reparations bill? I don't know what type of drugs you using. Senator Tim Scott, the only black Republican in the Senate, has already said he's not voting for reparations. If the black Republican won't vote for reparations to help his own people, how many white Republicans you think gonna vote for reparations? This is what happens when you listen to Simple Simon ass nonsense, and then you repeat that stuff. This is what happens. Let's go back to this clip, Shakita.
Need reparations. Well, okay, please explain to me when that's going to pass. Hell, a study can't even get passed. The reality is this got passed. Got passed.
It got passed. Well, and you know how long I was talking to you about debt relief on your television show 10, 12 years ago. And this has been going on for 30 years. And it just passed, people. So
right.
All of these years of struggle, we get it. And now we have, like you say, black people who are lost, a lost ball and high reads that don't understand history. And for people who don't understand history, we take this a quick second and tell them slavery was wrong and held on American soil. Sharecropping was wrong and held on American soil. Jim Crow laws that took millions of acres away from black farmers was wrong. And every time they come out saying these type of statements, they always leave the fact of what history did to black farmers and in this case, black people in this country.
So here's what these white farmers are banking on. So everybody needs to understand. What they're now banking on is federal judge puts a stop to it. It gets appealed. It now goes to the next level. These white farmers want this to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. So a 6-3 conservative Supreme Court. Okay, which is anchored by that clueless Clarence Thomas, that they will declare this to be unconstitutional, so black farmers aren't able to get this money. That's what these white farmers are trying to do.
Well, that's what they're doing right now because they're delaying the payments to black farmers. And right now, probably as we speak, we're probably looking at a 2-year court battle, to say the least, because I'm going to fight them all the way to the Supreme Court. And, we have to win the public support here. We need the support, especially in this case of Black America, to wake up and start talking about this travesty. Here we have a law in place, and we have white farmers, and like you said, some naive brothers out there on the wrong side of the issue who are saying they don't want us to receive the money, that it's going to harm them if we compensate black farmers and Hispanic farmers and Native American farmers, all of the people who have been harmed, by this government. Something is terribly wrong with that picture.
It is. And so, look, we've been right there with you, National Black Farmers. A whole lot of people out here running their mouths who have not been talking about this issue. Unfortunately, it's a lot of mainstream networks who have not been calling you, having you on a regular basis. And
that's exactly. And they really do because, this is a big issue here. You got land and money in the same sentence, and for black people, that's a whole lot. And we have to get on top of this, and we have to stop the land loss. And the only way to do that is to get money in the hands of needy black farmers and other farmers of color in this country.
Well, and what people also don't realize is that you're seeing a renewed focus also among younger African Americans who are now looking at farming. As a sister I know, Rachel Ponder, she's an activist out of Georgia, and she's actually going through classes now to become a black farmer. And so you see African Americans who are creating urban farms, who are creating this to deal with food deserts. And so people need to understand that there are black people in rural America who this impacts. We're talking about Virginia, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, Florida. But it's also these things impact what's happening in inner cities where African Americans are trying to become more self-reliant, even with urban farms.
And as we go, Roland, we have a scholarship program we just announced, probably about $4 million scholarship, a full ride for 4 years. And we need young blacks to apply for this scholarship. So they can look at that on the National Black Farmers Association.org or blackfarmers.org. Go out and apply. We got to get young blacks, just like you said, back into farming. And this is the best way to do it by educating them.
And we'll be sure to get that out. I'll push that on social media as well because, the opportunities are there. My brother actually was a business major at Texas A&M. Then ended up actually graduating with an agricultural economics degree because there were all of these companies were looking forward to hire black folks in agriculture. And again, we're sitting here thinking, well, agriculture means just a farm, not realizing these major companies. DuPont, he actually got hired by DuPont out of college, and so that's one of the areas. But again, it's redefining for people when they hear agriculture, not thinking it's just completely, oh my goodness, you're going to be on a tractor. No, agriculture is the second largest budget in the federal government.
Absolutely. Well, you're hitting all the nails with the hammer. And we got to be a part of that. And we have to get more blacks into agribusiness in this country. And, for the people who guide the food, guide the country, people. We've got to get a foothold and start to control some of the food that's produced in this country so we can start directing the way that things are run in this country.
All right, then. John Boyd, we still appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, pause it right there. Pause it right there for a second, Shakita. Okay, this is the website for the National Black Farmers Association, blackfarmers.org, nationalblackfarmers.org, representing black farmers and families across the United States. Apply now. Next Generation Black and Hispanic Farmers Scholarship Application deadline, June 15th. 2021. Deadline for this scholarship, June 15th, 2021. Visit the website, go ahead and apply. They have information here dealing with issues pertaining to African American farmers at their website, the State of Black Farmers, etc. So check this out. Okay, let's go back to this clip, Shakita, and now Roland goes to his panel. I'm on this panel. Let's go back to this clip. Press play.
PepsiCo and Coke are not the only people who hire folks for marketing jobs. Right. I said every major company has marketing departments. Mm-hmm. And part of the problem for a lot of us, again, many Black people have been raised where we're just sort of very finite in our thinking in terms of what the opportunities are. And so there was a professor, Dr. Alvin Lark, who was in the agriculture department at Texas A&M, who was the one to my brother, no, you want to switch your major. He was trying to get more African Americans to switch. See, many of them were business majors. Well, a lot of people were then leaving the business department, and he was trying to say, look, it's the same thing. Forget what that title is on your degree. What are the jobs that are there when you're able to come out of college? And that's the thing, the opportunities that are made available.
Yeah, that's true. I remember, my degree's in business administration with a major in marketing. And, I remember in the business school, a lot of us are geared towards corporations or those in accounting. At the time, it was the big six accounting firms. They're geared toward the big six accounting firms. Those in marketing were geared towards some of the big ad agencies, things like this. And then you learn about the reality of racism out in the real world. And that's when I learned how racist marketing really was, and advertising agencies really were, things like this. But yeah, there's a resurgence when it comes to urban farms. Okay, we see that here in Detroit, brothers like Malika Kinney and others, D-Town urban farms. And this bill right here, I want people to really, really understand. I don't think people understand that this $4 billion in loan forgiveness, this is in the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. No Republicans voted for this bill in the House of Representatives or the U.S. Senate. Zero. No Republicans. There's over 200 Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives. They voted no. The 50 Republicans in the Senate voted no on the bill. The only reason why you have this bill is because African Americans, Latinos, and others went out and voted in 2020. And then you had John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock that went in Georgia. Okay. And this is the only reason why you have this bill. And this passed during the budget reconciliation process. So it was like 51-50. That's the only reason why you have this. And it was Senator Cory Booker and Senator Raphael Warnock who put this portion into the bill for Black farmers. Now last week you had Tom Vilsack on the show. And Tom Vilsack did an interview with the Washington Post March 25th. He talked about how under the Trump administration in 2020, white farmers got almost $26 billion. Almost $26 billion. African American farmers got 0.1%. They got 20.8 million out of 26 billion. None of these white farmers were talking about discrimination when that happened. Senator Lindsey Graham wasn't talking about discrimination against Black farmers because they only got 0.1%. Senator Tim Scott, who is really the Isaiah T. Montgomery of the Republican Party, and Isaiah T. Montgomery, he voted along in 1890 Mississippi. He voted along with the new Mississippi Constitution that was discriminating against Black people. That's Senator Tim Scott, the new Isaiah T. Montgomery. So this is an example of how elections have consequences, brother.
And we again, when I say it about
all right, pause right there, Shakita. Okay, so you can watch the full show because full show is 2 hours. You can watch the full show in its entirety. Roland S. Martin on YouTube and Roland S. Martin on Facebook. That's from Friday, June 11th, 2021. I'm a panelist each Friday on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Read this article here. We've talked about it a number of times. Washington Post. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack says only 0.1% of Trump administration's COVID farm relief went to Black farmers. Read that. Elections have consequences. And then there was one other, it was something else I was looking at. Oh, go back and listen to the show from yesterday, Thursday, June 10th. We talked about Isaiah T. Montgomery and the Mississippi State Convention of 1890. Oh, we broke that stuff down. Okay, that ties into what's going on right now. All right. Okay, speaking of what's going on right now, Saturday, June 12th, 2021. My online course that I teach, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. And our guest speaker will be Dr. David Imhotep, author of the book, The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence. So we have the information at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, and on AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. We'll post the link here again as well. It's a 10-week online course that I teach. We deal with thousands of years of history. He's the author of The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence. So we're going to talk about the premise of his book. He's going to share a lot of evidence with us of the African presence in this land we call the United States of America, going back at least 51,700 years ago. Okay, so we'll discuss that. All the sessions are recorded, so you can go back and watch. We do the class live. Of course, you can watch us live. There's a live text chat, so you can ask questions in the class. And then you can go back and watch it over and over again also, okay? So we'll post a link here again so you can register. And it's at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, right on the homepage. All right, I want to go to this last story here. We didn't get a chance to cover it yesterday. We had so much information on Thursday's show. But we're going to go to clip 2, Shakita, I think it is, from NBC Now. Let's see, we'll go to clip 3. We're going to go to clip 3. Retired Army officers, microphone silent. So some of you all heard about this story. This took place on Memorial Day in Ohio, okay? And you had a retired Army officer who was speaking at a Memorial Day celebration. And he started talking about the role that African American, that freed slaves played in the creation of Memorial Day. And his microphone was cut. Let's go to this clip.
There would be a tie back to Hudson with that song, with John Brown. Most importantly,
it's become the mute heard around the world. The microphone cut during retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Bernard Kempter's Memorial Day speech.
Hey, Jay, Mike.
He tells me, quote, I wanted to explain how the African Americans were responsible and instrumental in establishing the first Memorial Day 1 month after the end of the Civil War. I wanted to explain this little-known part of American history.
I can't think of any reasonable circumstance, not even reasonable, I can't think of any circumstance why you would cut something like this out from a Memorial Day observance.
Lieutenant Commander Michael Walker is a former member of the Hudson American Legion Post 646 and participated in the Memorial Day observance put on by the chapter last year. He says he was sick to his stomach when he heard what happened.
It sometimes seems there's an aversion to discuss race at all. It could be because of racism. It could be because people are uncomfortable. But for military members and Legion members, we're supposed to lean forward.
The commander of Ohio's American Legion says after an investigation, they've decided to suspend the Hudson Charter and ask for the resignation of 2 officers they deemed responsible, one of which did step down. Walker says while the censoring doesn't reflect the many members of that post, he respects the decision made by the commander.
You know, part of being a military member is you take responsibility. Somebody in the group does something wrong, you have to own it. And sometimes you have to take extreme ownership of it. And I think this was an example of that.
Walker says he suspects some of the members may join other nearby posts. Others may wait and see what happens. He wasn't sure if he'd rejoin after moving to Twinsburg, but decided not to after the incident because he couldn't be further from what the American Legion stands for.
It disgusts me that this happened. It puts Legion in a bad light. It put the city of Hudson in a bad light. The rest of the group should take the opportunity to lean forward and help prove to the community that we're not all like that.
Okay, so that's from NBC Now. That is from June 9th, 2021. Retired Army officers' microphone silenced as he mentions freed slaves' role in Memorial Day. And this article here from NBC News is from June 9th, 2021. Another official resigns over censored Memorial Day speech. A retired U.S. Army officer's microphone was cut as he talked about the role Black people played in Memorial Day. The American Legion Department of Ohio said censoring the speech was premeditated. Both organizers of the Memorial Day ceremony have now resigned under pressure after they silenced a retired U.S. Army officer's microphone while he was talking about how freed black slaves honored fallen soldiers just after the Civil War. And that was May 1st, 1865 in Charleston, South Carolina. Cindy Suchan, Suchan, chair of the Memorial Day Parade Committee and president of the Hudson American Legion Auxiliary, stepped down nearly a week after the ceremony, the Akron Beacon Journal reported on Tuesday. Okay. We're out of time here on 910 AM Superstation WFDF. Those watching on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, and our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep. Keep watching. We're going to go for a few more minutes and finish this story up. Register for my online course. Visit AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Remember, right now it's correct your own behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. We'll talk to you Sunday night. Peace. All right, stand by. Stand by. Okay, let's continue here. Let me pull this back up. Okay, so and here's a picture of retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Bernard Kempter. Okay, he's tapping on the microphone because they have the video in here. They have like the full hour-long ceremony. He was talking, everything was all right. Then he started talking about free black slaves, and they start honoring the Civil War soldiers and things like this. May 1st, 1865. Then they cut the mic off. He kept talking. Okay. All right. So retired Lieutenant Bernard Kempter taps the microphone after organizers turned off the audio during his speech at a Memorial Day ceremony in Hudson, Ohio. Now, it's predominantly white people that are there. The band, the people, in the audience, predominantly white people there. But somebody said, "Oh, this is too much black stuff. This is too much history. We don't want to talk about all that. You're being divisive. You can't talk that black history stuff. You're being divisive." Now, Suzette Heller, department adjutant of the American Legion Department of Ohio, said she was told Sunday that Suchan had resigned. Jim Garrison, adjutant of American Legion Post 464, resigned last Friday. The American Legion Department of Ohio said censoring the speech about the role black people played in Memorial Day was premeditated and planned by Jim Garrison and Suchan, Cindy Suchan. Okay, it was premeditated. Wonder who they voted for president. They quote, "They knew exactly when to turn the volume down and when to turn it back up," end quote, said Roger Friend, department commander for the Ohio American Legion. Okay, I guess maybe they thought he was talking about critical race theory, so they didn't want to talk about it. They said, "Oh, you preaching that black stuff. Oh, you talking about critical race theory. Oh, you teaching people to hate white people." The organizers of the ceremony in Hudson, Ohio, initially defended their decision, saying the section of the speech that was silenced was not relevant to the program's theme of honoring the city's veterans. Wait a second, hold on. You're there on Memorial Day. You're there on Memorial Day honoring the city's veterans on Memorial Day. The first Memorial Day was celebrated by African Americans, May 1st, 1865. We did a whole show dealing with the African American origins of Memorial Day. On May 1st, 1865 in Charleston, South Carolina, according to two reports that historian David Blight from Yale University, found in the New York Tribune newspaper, the New York Tribune, and the Charleston Courier, a crowd of 10,000 people, mostly freed slaves with some white missionaries, staged a parade around the racetrack, the horse track there in South Carolina. 3,000 African-American school children carried bouquets of flowers and sang John Brown's Body, the song John Brown's Body. John Brown, Harper's Ferry, John Brown trying to free slaves. Members of the famed 54th Massachusetts and other black Union regiments were in attendance and performed double-time marches. African-American ministers recited verses from the Bible. Okay, this was May 1st, 1865. All right. So they said at first they defended the action of silencing Lieutenant Colonel Bernard Kempter. The organizers of the ceremony in Hudson, Ohio, initially defended their decision, saying the section of the speech that was silenced was not relevant to the program's theme of honoring the city's veterans. But he's talking about the origins of Memorial Day, which is why you're there in the first place. In the days before the ceremony, Cindy Sushan says she reviewed the speech and asked retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Bernard Kempter, who is a white man, an elderly white man, she asked him to remove certain portions of the speech. Retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Bernard Kempter said he did not see the suggested changes in time to rewrite the speech. What was it that you wanted him to remove, little Cindy? Now, retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Kempter, who spent 30 years in the Army and served in the Persian Gulf War, said he was disappointed that his microphone was turned off for 2 minutes. Why? He's talking about the origins of Memorial Day. Why are you censoring him? So, see, this is what happens when you tell the truth. They don't even want to hear the truth from a white man who's a veteran, who served in war, who fought for his country. They don't even want to hear the truth from him. I wonder who Cindy and Jim voted for president. Jim Garrison and Cindy Sushan. I wonder who they voted for president. I'm not sure, but I have a sneaky suspicion. Read this article here from NBCnews.com. Another official resigns over censored Memorial Day speech. This is from June 9th, 2021 from NBC News. All right, look, hey, if you like this type of information, you want to support the African History Network, you can do so, $, the AHN Show through Cash App, $, the AHN Show through Cash App, also through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN Show. We definitely need your support. This helps us keep doing the research, keep broadcasting, staying on the air. We're here 6 days a week, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. to 12 midnight Eastern Standard Time. Sundays, 12 noon. Sundays, not 12 noon. Sundays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sundays. And then also this helps us keep doing the research. This will help me get to and back from Atlanta as well. I'm speaking in Atlanta for the Juneteenth Festival, June 18th through the 20th. I had a lot of expenses to cover and take care of. This is our real Cash App account, $, the AHN Show through Cash App. These other two are fakes people set up. I've already reported them to Cash App. So $, the AHN Show through Cash App, and also through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN Show. Be sure to register for the online course that I teach on Saturdays as well. And all my DVD lectures and digital downloads are at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. All right, look, we have to get out of here. This is a very, very busy day. This is I've done 4 hours of broadcasting today, 2 hours for Roland Martin, 1 hour promoting the class after Roland's show, and then a little over an hour here. So I have to get out of here. Get ready for tomorrow's class. Remember, the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And we'll talk to you Sunday. We'll be back Sunday. All right. Talk to y'all later. Peace. And with those in the class, we'll see you in the class on Saturday. Take care.
Hi, I'm Joel Wilson, President and CEO of JCW Computer Consulting, LLC, a technology implementation firm with over 20 years of satisfying customers. We offer a full spectrum of industry top-tier branded services. We are an authorized partner or reseller for Lenovo, Zoom, T-Mobile, Microsoft 365, and Surface tablets. Google Workspace, Acer, Asus, Samsung, PCmatic security software, and many more. Our online store features laptops, Chromebooks, computers, printers, accessories, and software. Businesses, take advantage of our free 1-hour Zoom tech consultation and know we offer top nationwide high-speed internet service providers, voice over IP, and cellular phone services. Home users, don't miss our current in-stock Chromebook inventory. Please visit us at jcwcc.com or call 215-879-6701.
Gain knowledge in minutes from insightful summaries of progressive and socially conscious books. Blacklisted gives you access to curated content that'll satisfy your curiosity to learn and understand different perspectives. Empower yourself through inspirational and actionable ideas. It's easy to read or listen to on the go. Blacklisted. Empower yourself. Start your free trial today.
Are you getting ready for fall or winter? We have the solution for all seasonal clothing needs. ComedicWear.com is the go-to online source for Comedic African fashion and lifestyle products with a contemporary twist. We're committed to offering unique styles reflecting our African heritage. ComedicWear.com is inspired by ComedicScribes.com to influence our people in learning and showing pride. Please visit our website at ComedicWear.com.
We all know the cannabis industry is headed toward an uprise in the past decade. What happens when there is a brand that brings this uprise in a blow? The cannabis industry welcomes her uprise. Hustle her hemp. Delivering excellence with pride is her watchword, and how you choose to embrace it makes it a priority. From cultivating rich cannabis into exquisite and tastefully finished CBD products to delivery, Hustle Her Hemp leaves no stone unturned. Hustle Her Hemp's mission is to empower women of color by building business and creating legacies, uniting beauty, health, and business. We are a pure definition of how we want the CBD industry to become in the future. While we are redefining innovation, we bring the same energy to improving the quality of life. Hustle Her Hemp is the new uprise.
Hi, I'm Joel Wilson, President and CEO of JCW Computer Consulting LLC, a technology implementation firm with over 20 years of satisfying customers. We offer a full spectrum of industry top-tier branded services. We are an authorized partner or reseller for Lenovo, Zoom, T-Mobile, Microsoft 365 and Surface tablets, Google Workspace, Acer, Asus, Samsung, PCmatic security software, and many more. Our online store features laptops, Chromebooks, computers, printers, accessories, and software. Businesses, take advantage of our free 1-hour Zoom tech consultation and know we offer top nationwide high-speed internet service providers, voice over IP, and cellular phone services. Home users, don't miss our current in-stock Chromebook inventory. Please visit us at jcwcc.com or call 215-879-6701.
Digital Dandelion's Technical Solutions works with businesses like yours to create an operations manual for your business, which is something many businesses don't have. According to AARP, more than 30% of small business owners are over 50 years old. Many business owners want to retire by selling their businesses or by passing their businesses on to their children. However, according to Forbes Investment Advisors, many retiring owners' attempts to sell their businesses for retirement fail. You cannot sell your business without a business manual. Your children also cannot inherit your business because there is no way to run it. Your business does not have to die when you leave. Their business Bible products will give you the tools you need for a thriving business that can make you money even after you retire. Are you looking at increasing your business's annual revenue? Digital Dandelions can help you make at least $100,000 in annual revenue and expand your business. Speak with them today about solidifying your business. Visit digitaldandelions.com today and get a free 30-minute consultation.
With blackbusinesstea.com, the messages are clear and meaningful. Keep your business in the black and out of the red. Mind your black business, know your numbers, and plan strategically. Black Business Boss, lead your industry. Support black business, encourage, patronize, and uplift one another. BlackBusinessTea.com currently has products sold in Detroit, Atlanta, Chicago, and Los Angeles, with proceeds returned to the black community. They have a wide selection of hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, hats, sweatshirts that support black-owned businesses. Visit the website blackbusinesstee.com. That's blackbusinesstee.com.